Today, we're diving into the story of a man whose ideas literally lit up our world. We're talking about an inventor, a showman, a true visionary whose life was as brilliant and, honestly, as unpredictable as the electrical currents he mastered. This is the incredible story of Nikola Tesla. So, think about this for a second. What if you could power the entire globe without a single wire? It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? Well, for Nikola Tesla, this wasn't just some fantasy. It was a very real future he was trying to build. He saw the world, not for what it was, but for what it could be. And what you're looking at here, this is not a movie poster. It's not a special effect. It's a real photo of Tesla in his lab, sitting next to a tower blasting out millions of volts of electricity. It's an insane image that just perfectly captures his genius and his ambition. But his life was so much more than these wild pictures. It was this dramatic roller coaster of incredible success and just heartbreaking failure. So, where did it all begin? Let's roll it back to the very start, with a brilliant young immigrant who showed up in America with an idea that was, well, truly revolutionary. Okay, so picture this. It's 1884 and Tesla lands in New York. He was born to a Serb family in what's now Croatia. He had basically no money, just a few coins in his pocket, but his head was absolutely buzzing with these groundbreaking ideas about electricity that were about to change everything. So where does he go first? Straight to the workshop of the most famous inventor on the planet, Thomas Edison. Tesla later said that going from Europe to this grimy shop on the Lower East Side was a painful surprise. It was a total clash of personalities, a clash of ideas, and it was the spark that would ignite one of the biggest rivalries in the history of science. And that rivalry? It wasn't just personal. Oh no. It was a full-blown technological war for the future of electricity, a battle that we now call the War of Currents. Okay, so let's break this down because it's super important. Edison was all about direct current, or DC. It worked, but it was really inefficient. It lost power fast, meaning you'd need a power station on almost every single street corner. But Tesla, he had this vision for alternating current, AC, which could be blasted across hundreds of miles with almost no power loss. We're talking two totally different futures for how we would power our world. So yeah, that partnership, it did not last long. The story goes that Tesla was offered a $50,000 bonus, which was an absolute fortune back then, to make Edison's generators way better. And when he did it, he was told the offer was just a joke. American humor. Tesla quit on the spot. And just like that, the war was on. So after splitting from Edison, this genius who had the entire modern electrical grid mapped out in his head, he was broke. He had to work as a ditch digger just to survive. He later said his top-tier education felt like a mockery. I mean, can you imagine? This was his absolute lowest point. But you can't keep a mind like that down for long. No way. He found some new investors, and he filed patents for his incredible AC induction motor. It's this simple, brilliant design that's still the basis for tons of stuff we use every single day. And this got the attention of George Westinghouse, who just happened to be Edison's biggest rival. The final showdown, the big one, came at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. Westinghouse, using Tesla's AC system, won the contract to light up the whole fair. And it was a massive success. Just stunning. Hundreds of thousands of people saw firsthand how safe and powerful AC was. The War of Currents was over. Tesla had won. But, just lighting up a fair or even the entire planet with wires, that wasn't enough for Tesla. Not even close. For him, that was just step one. His real dream was way, way bigger. With the money he made from his AC patents, Tesla became a full-blown scientific celebrity. He set up this amazing lab in Manhattan, and he'd entertain famous people like the author Mark Twain with these wild electrical shows. He was kind of part showman, part mad scientist, part Einstein. And the centerpiece of his lab, and really his entire dream, was the Tesla Coil. You've probably seen one. It's that crazy invention that makes huge, beautiful bolts of lightning. But for Tesla, this was no magic trick. It was the key to his ultimate goal, sending power through the air completely wirelessly. To really push the boundaries, he built this enormous experimental station out in Colorado Springs in 1899. I mean, look at this thing. Out here, he created man-made lightning over 100 feet long. These experiments convinced him he could actually use the Earth itself as a giant conductor for a worldwide wireless system. He was so close. He was right on the verge of making his wildest dreams come true. But his incredible rise was about to be followed by a really long and really tragic fall. This was supposed to be it, his masterpiece, Wardenclyffe Tower, out on Long Island. It was funded by one of the most powerful men in America, the banker J.P. Morgan. This tower was going to be the very first hub in a global system of wireless communication and, Tesla hoped, wireless power. But it just wasn't meant to be. While Tesla was building his grand vision, another inventor, Marconi, was making his own progress of radio. J.P. Morgan got nervous about Tesla's bigger, much more expensive dream of free power for everyone, and he pulled the plug. The funding was gone. The dream just died. The tower was never finished. Without Wardenclyffe, Tesla just lost all his momentum. He had put every penny he had into that project. For the rest of his life, he was basically bankrupt. He just drifted from one New York hotel to another, often leaving a trail of unpaid bills behind him. And then, on January 7th, 1943, Nikola Tesla died all alone in his room at the Hotel New Yorker. The man who lit the world, the man who dreamed of free energy for everyone. He died pretty much forgotten. For decades, his name was mostly just a footnote in history, often overshadowed by Edison. But that is not where his story ends. Not at all. So after he died, his papers were actually seized by the US government. But slowly, things started to change. Recognition began to grow. In 1960, a fundamental unit of magnetic energy was named the Tesla. And then, in the 1990s, popular culture just rediscovered him in a huge way, finally celebrating him as this incredible genius who was just way, way ahead of his time. Today, his ashes are kept in a golden sphere in a museum in Belgrade, a tribute to the man who truly did electrify the world. His story is just this powerful reminder that some of the most brilliant ideas can come from the people we are most likely to forget. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other geniuses out there just waiting to be rediscovered?